Mexico.
Well, thank you.
Is this your first time here?
It's my first time at a dog show in Mexico. I've been vacationing in Mexico before.
Have you liked it?
I'm having a great time. The people have been wonderful to me. I've had some wonderful dogs to look at. The show is run very professionally. I'm having a very good time.
I know you're a handler,
Yes.
a professional handler, but have you judged in other shows?
Yes, I have. I just finished judging sweepstakes at the Beagle National. I've judged a lot from the UKC. I've judged a lot of sweepstakes in both Canada and the USA.
Why did you want to become a professional handler?
My parents were in dogs. We had Irish setters when I was a young man, and I always loved showing the dogs. And when I turned 18, I started to work for professional handlers in Canada and the USA, and I really enjoyed it, and I was thrilled with the thought that I could make a living doing it, working with dogs for the rest of my life.
Do you mix both activities, judging and handling?
Well, right now I'm primarily a handler. I've been showing dogs professionally since 1986. I do enjoy the judging aspect of it. I'm not sure I'm ready to hang out my lead yet, though. I still like showing the dogs.
So you'll prefer handling?
Well, at this point, yes. I do love judging the dogs, but I do love, when I win Best in Show, I love to take that dog home with me.
Oh. I read on the internet that you are known as the Wayne Gretzky of the dog shows, but why is that? Can you?
I think I don't know how that started. It happened at a Canadian dog show. I just think it's because I have won so much, and Wayne Gretzky he scored a lot of goals and more than anybody else. I think that's why they did that.
Can you tell us how was your experience winning the Westminster Best in Show?
It was totally overwhelming. I grew up watching all those great Best in Shows, Mark Thrafall and Skip with the Pomeranian and Doug with the Standard Schnauzer, and I couldn't imagine. I always pretended to win, but I never imagined I would actually be showing the dog that won Best in Show. And when we won, I was speechless. I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what to say. The Beagle, Miss P,
Yeah.
I loved her from the moment I saw her at 6 months old. It was a dream come true.
Which qualities are the most important or outstanding of Miss P?
Of Miss P? Well, besides that, I think she's a beautiful beagle. She's very athletic. She's a beautiful type. She has a beautiful head and eye and ear. Above all that, she thinks she's the best one, and that takes you a long way.
Yeah, that's what I read, that she thinks she's like a princess or
Oh,
something.
there's no question. She thinks she's the best one. We're all here for her bidding.
But what characteristics or what ways of behaving tell you that she thinks that?
If you're not giving her enough attention, in her eye, she'll bark at you until you do give her attention. She's a very demanding female. Imagine that.
Well, I know she's retiring and she's going to be a mother.
Yes.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to miss her or?
Oh, I already do miss her. She used to sleep with me. She was
Really?
on my pillow. But I'm just carrying on. I have a new string of dogs, and we're doing very well. And we'll just see where it takes us.
Is it difficult to be a part of a dog that you know a lot?
Oh, yes, very difficult. I miss her a lot. Every day I miss her.
As an experienced handler, I suppose you have learned to deal with that. Is that right?
You have to. And I've had other dogs who have done really well, and I've had them stay with me until they get old. I know this sounds kind of harsh, maybe. I don't like to see my stars grow old in front of my eyes. I like to remember them as they were.
Yeah.
So when they go home, I'm happy they have a happy life, and I'll visit them once in a while, but I don't want to watch them get old.
What other breeds do you handle?
I show a lot of sporting dogs, mostly setters, beagles. I show a lot of Afghan hounds. I show some terriers. I show Portuguese water dogs, French bulldogs.
Which one do you prefer?
Well, I grew up with Irish setters,
Yeah.
so my two favorite at this moment are Irish setters and beagles. If I were to retire tomorrow and I was asked what dogs I wanted to start breeding, it would be Irish setters or beagles.
How long have you handled beagles?
Since 1986.
So you started handling all breeds?
Yes.
Oh.
The professional handler that I worked for, his name was Gary McDonald, and he showed all the beagles for Mr. Gear, who was my primary client until he passed away. And when Gary was killed tragically in a house fire in November of '86, and the very next weekend I was the professional handler. I was no longer the assistant. I was the one that had to show the dogs. So that's what happened. I started showing the beagles for Mr. Gear and the setters and the Kerry Blues.
And how was that experience? I mean,
well, that was overwhelming because I wasn't quite ready for it. But I had a lot of help, a lot of friends. So they taught. I was 21 years old. At 22, I showed an Irish setter, and he was #1 dog in Canada.
Is it hard to get to know the breed? I suppose you need a lot of preparation.
Well, when they're with you 24 hours a day, you get to know them.
In terms of personality, what differentiates the Beagle from other breeds?
Oh, they're very cocky. As much as they love their owners, they're still a loner dog. You think they have no loyalty. They would just leave if they wanted to leave. But I love their characters. They're such a cocky breed. They think they're the biggest dog at the dog show. No one pushes them around. They're a fun breed.
Which body parts do you think are the best in a Beagle?
I love looking at their faces.
What kind of steps do you follow to properly prepare a Beagle for a show?
Well, besides the trimming, you have to keep their neck clean, their shoulders clear, their feet tidy, their tails tidy. You also got to keep them clean and keep them in good physical condition. They're athletes. They're the athletes of the dog show world, so they've got to be in that kind of condition.
And what kind of routine do they make to stay fit?
Usually a lot of free running. I like some structured running too on a treadmill, but not a lot because they get bored of it. It's just a matter of keeping them mentally and physically fit. Good food, keep them clean as best as you can because they're beagles.
What's your opinion about what you saw as a judge here?
In this beagle show here, I found the breed was in very good shape. There were certain dogs I preferred, but most of all the dogs were in nice shape and were nice representatives of the breed.
Were they many?
I guess there was about 50.
Is there any characteristic that you find remarkable in the dogs you saw today?
Characteristics in the dogs I saw today?
Well, remarkable characteristics.
It's hard to say because there are so many different types. They were all presented pretty well. They were all in pretty good condition. Overall, it was good quality. I don't know if I could find a remarkable characteristics to generalize. But that's probably what I would think.
According to what you saw today, can you form an outlook about the situation of breeding Beagle in Mexico? I mean, like, how are the breeders doing?
Oh, the quality is very high. They're doing a good job.
And where would you put on a list of best quality of countries? Where would you like to put Mexico?
Well, that's hard to say. I've only seen a few different countries, so that's a hard question to answer.
Is there a country in particular that is very strong at breeding Beagle?
Well, right now, America's in good condition. I was just at the American National, and they had about almost 300 Beagles, and they're in very good shape there as well. But the dogs that won here today could easily compete there, easily.
Was it difficult to choose the best of breed?
Oh yes, it came down to about 6 dogs, and I had to pull hairs to figure out which one I wanted. So, yeah, it was fun.
What was the difficulty in that?
Well, you have to see who performs the best on that day, and who I think represents the breed itself for that day. Like today, there was 3 dogs in there I really liked, and the outcome could be different tomorrow depending on how they performed.
What did you see in the winner that helped you take your decision choosing it as the best of breed?
I love the way he carried himself. He carried himself like a stallion of that breed. And when he moved around the ring, he covered a lot of ground. He owned the ground he walked on. He was very confident all the time. He never let him down. He put on a good show. Same with the young female I gave opposite sex to. I found out later it's a daughter of the winner, and she was lovely. And in another 6 months or so, she's going to give Dad a run for his money.
Okay, so anything else that you would like to say?
I just like to thank everybody for having me here. I've had a great time. I really have.